And you got down here with your low. So this is what I saw in the monthly time frame on UJ. And then when you come back here, this is basically a lower high that was formed after that new structure high. So what I did from there, UJ had a monthly trend line that was actually drawn from right here. Actually to continue the uptrend. Because we want to be technical, there's still basically a higher low. It just in consolidation right now. This market is uptrending on a monthly time frame. Oh, I got all my stuff down here. 1 second.
Hold it. Push your board.
Hey, everybody mute your mics. Make sure your mics are muted, guys.
Oh shit, muted?
Nah. All right. Everybody should mute it. There you go. So this is my monthly trend line. The fuck? I ain't about to see that no more. So my monthly trend line was basically on the higher time frame, which was telling me that UJ was actually on the uptrend. And what I did was make that visible on the monthly time frames. So when I dropped down to the weekly, I saw in the weekly that UJ was creating low lows, boom, lower highs, and then it dropped. This was the lower low. This was initially a lower high. So I went down to the daily. I started marking up like on the line chart. I started looking at little structure points. Places where the market might bounce off of and turn back around. So I started from top, went down, and was just looking. And I seen that this was that's a daily structure point. And I marked, let me see, style. But that's my daily structure. That's the line that I turned red. I think it's a little bit lower than that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was actually right there. So for right there, I had a daily structure point, and I dropped down to the 4 hour, and we're just looking at the time frames. And then I marked a 4 hour structure point, which I dropped down from the low. I try to match as many wicks, like as many points that touch it. So this was one. My 4 hour is blue. And then from there, I went to the regular chart and tried to see how the market was reacting to my daily structure and my 4 hour structure. So what I saw when I went down to the 4 hour, I saw that UJ was basically uptrending. From here, it was just pushing up. And that it was either going to hold or break back down. And when I saw this, I drew a fib from the low to this high. I think it was this one. Actually, I drew it from, I did all my markups with my fibs on the hour chart to see if I could find like a fib that lined up with my daily structure to see if it was going to hold that point. So I drew it from this low to swing high, and it was a 382. When I see a 382, that basically means that it's going to be a strong push to the upside to me. So after I did that, I marked that low. I did that. That's a strong fib level to me. Then I started looking. I see that it was respecting that 382. So we had one tap, two, and then the third one. So after this third one, when I was looking at it, I always seen that the market was already bullish. It kept retesting its daily structure. Retest. It was 3 taps on the hour chart. Then we got on the third retest, we got a bullish engulfing. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm gonna delete the eclipse for you.
Hey, zoom in on that bullish engulfing so they can see what that looks like.
I got you. So this was the bullish engulfing off the third tap on the hour chart. So a bullish engulfing is basically when you got a red candle closing, then at the opening of it is when the next candle closes above the open of the red candle. So once I saw this, I marked that as a bullish engulfing since the market was already uptrending, and this was a third tap to my structure level in the 382. After I seen that, I changed the color to blue, and then I think I went down to a lower time frame. I went out to a lower time frame. I say I like the M15 to look for entries off that bullish engulfing, which, as you can see, the bullish engulfing was made right here. And all it did was retrace, and it actually gave you another tap. And if you was to look closely on the M15, it was actually another 3 taps to that structure level. You could have counted this whole tap. Off that 3 tap, you had another bullish engulfing. My entry was after this bullish engulfing. And then as the market just started trending up and never broke below this low again off that third tap. So if I was actually into, my stops was going lower than that, lower than this, the wick of this candle. And then from there, you had more entries on the hour time frame. You went to the hour time frame. You had another double bottom off my 4-hour structure. Basically, when a market is uptrending, I look for it to either reverse off my structure level and give me a re-entry. And as you can see, it reversed off this structure level, and all it did was respect this bullish engulfing. And then from there, I started looking at it like, okay, that's a double bottom to me. That was a double bottom. Then I drew another fib on the hour chart from the low of that candle to the wick of this, another 382 that lined up right in that zone. This was like a whole little zone that was in. And then from there, you just had a clean push up. So now if I was to do extra confirmation, my extra confirmation would have been the EMA crossovers. Down here off my first entry, the EMAs was bearish when the blue is under the red is bearish. So from here, off this push up, I seen that the blue crossed back above the red, which made the market bullish. And then inside my second entry off the double bottom in the 382, it was just respecting it and gave me another engulfing off that candle, another bullish engulfing, which respected my structure level and broke above my 4-hour time frame. And once it did that, the EMAs crossed back over, and then I think this pair shot up for at least like 60 pips of 2 entries. It shot up 60 pips. And then from there, I was just looking like, okay, if the market did that, where can I find a reversal? Well, before I found the reversal, I was just looking for the continuation. And it was actually more confirmation to confirm that uptrend, which was a trend line from here, from this low to the second tap of that, which just confirmed that the market was still in the uptrend, and it was respecting this structure level, the 382, my trend line, When it's above my trend line, that means that it's still bullish. And it just respected that and shot up. So from there, the reason why I drew my trend line from here is because this was actually a low in the bullish trend, which gave me a bullish rectangle. Then from there you had, which was, damn. You had a push up, retracement, push up, which didn't break. And it didn't break this low. Retracement, no, push up. And then it just stayed in this little consolidation zone. Then it pushed up again. So from there, all I was looking at, okay, I'm gonna just look for the trend to continue in that way. So from there, it just was in this whole consolidation zone, which I think if you looked on the daily chart, it was that whole zone was just mainly like it was just a bullish rectangle that was forming within these 3 candles. Yeah, within those 3 candles was just a bullish rectangle that was just basically a consolidation zone that was just waiting to be broken out of. And that's what made me take that buy on UJ. Other than me seeing that, looking for a reversal when the market was up here, I was basically trying to break down where was the market going to reverse at. So I went back to my long chart. I think I left it on let me take these EMAs off so I can see it better. I left it on the 4-hour chart. And I just started from up top and we're just looking at the little trends. I started from up top. That was one. We had a tap here, go down. This is another one. One right here, here, go down. This was another structure point. Down. I think this was my hour one. So this was my 4-hour structure point right here from this one, this tap, and this. I'm gonna show you the green line on the hour chart. I marked my green hour as my hour structure. Mark my green line as my hour structure. So I dropped down to the hour and I went back. And I just was looking at it. So you got all the taps right here. One, support, resistance. Then from there, I went back to the actual candlesticks and actually saw that the market went back up to that zone. And if I was to actually look closer, went back when the market was back here. From this drop, that would have confirmed that this was a supply zone, basically, where the market rallies up and collects sellers and then turn back around. So all that was a supply zone to me. And it was actually a zone between the 1-hour structure and the 4-hour structure level. And I marked my supply zones. I'm gonna mark it as yellow so you can see how the market reacted when it got to that zone. 1 second. We came in this zone, and as the market was in that zone, it basically just respected it. And from the respect, I think if I was to draw a fib on this time frame, I'm gonna try to go to a higher time frame so you can see how the fib look. From this swing high, from this high, I drew a fib to this low. And we're gonna see what fib actually lines up. I think it was a 786. Yeah, it was a 786. That's a mid. So the 786, the 61.8, and the 382 is major fibs to me. So when I looked at that, the market actually respected it. It respected that fib, and basically all it did, if we was to scoot, like actually zoom in, and went up there. This bullish candle. From this bullish candle, I think that was a market, like a candlestick analysis. I forgot what candlestick that was. Basically, this told me when it pinned my 1 hour and it broke above my 4 hour, and then I saw this red candle just bounce off, and this next one just closed like that. It basically told me that it was respecting this zone, and then from there it just started creating lower highs from in that level. So this was I think, John, you called out actually a bullet, a rectangle, bearish rectangle on UJ. So this was my bearish rectangle that I had on UJ. I don't know if I could delete this. Yo, if y'all see the supply, like this little yellow supply zone, let me know if I could delete it. You could put a 1 in the chat. All right, you see it. All right, I'm gonna delete it so you can see the bearish rectangle better. So this was basically my bearish rectangle. And off this bearish rectangle on the hour time frame, it got broke by this candle. It gave me a blue hammer candle. That was the hammer candle. And it broke with a engulfing candle. The engulfing closed below this structure level. Huh? I'm about to send it to you. 1 second, John. You got it. So once it closed below my blue 4 hour structure level, and then it closed below the bearish level. So from there, I went down to a lower time frame to see if I could get a retracement for an entry. So off that, I was just looking for it to come back up and retrace back to the blue 4 hour structure level. So once it did that, you got your retracement, which was here. This was your retracement. And same thing when you looked in it, when you saw in the hour when it was back here. You had this same push up with the blue candle and the pull back down with the red one. And on a lower time frame, it did the same exact thing. It did the same exact thing right here, respecting my 4 hour restructure level, and then it broke down with this next candle. Then from there, it was an entry that was after that, which was right here. Then you saw the market rally back up, back to that structure level, gave you a bearish engulfing, which was there. If you wanted, you could have took it again. And then from off that bearish engulfing, all it did was just drop. Another retracement, bearish engulfing. Off that bearish engulfment, it just started falling. And then we had extra confirmation that the market was going to fall after the EMA crossover on the hour chart. Let me show you. From these entries, you had your EMA crossover. Then you had a higher time frame engulfing, which just confirmed it more, which was an engulfing here. This is the bearish rectangle. I'm going to delete that. Engulfing here. You had another one right here. And that basically just confirmed that it was going to fall. And then you had the EMA crossover. And then the market just fell right back into structure. And all I had to did was retest this trend line. And on a lower time frame, if you was to look back where it broke the trend line, I think, I got to mark where so you can see it on the higher time frame. 1 second. Off your trend line, it broke it, retested back to 4 hour structure, and then fell again. I don't know what it's going to do right now because it's sitting at my daily structure point. So as of right now, when it's at my daily structure point, I'm just either it's gonna break back above, which is a daily. I'm gonna make the daily. I'm actually the daily red. Either I'm looking for this market to either break below it, give me a push below the daily structure, come back up, and give me a push back down, or to do the opposite. Push up, bounce off the 4 hour, then come back, and then continue back in that direction. That's all that I'm looking for in UJ right now. I'm not gonna look at it that much because it mainly made its moves for the whole week. And then if we used to look at it, it was another pair that I was looking at, which was AUDUSD. So on a daily time frame, if we was to start from the daily on AUDUSD, no, it's the swipe trades. We just start on a daily time frame from AUDUSD. AUDUSD been trending down for a minute now. Let me get this. It was in the channel on a daily time frame. Then I went to the line chart, found structure on the daily time frame, which I went down. Then from there, I dropped down to the 4 hour to see where the structure is on the 4 hour chart, which is coming from right here. I seen this, it was like a little overlap. Then from there, I went to the hour. I started from up here, started going down. This was one. And that green. Then I went back to the actual candlestick chart. I think on the daily it's still touching that trend line. Let me see. Visibility. Went down. So from there, I saw that it was touching my 4 hour and the actual hour. So I started marking up I started with a fib from this high to this low. The fib that lined up was a 786. It respected it, closed with this engulfing candle right here. Off that bearish engulfing candle, it bounced off my 1 hour and my 4 hour structure. Then I just waited for a lower high. So after this was my initial lower high that confirmed that the market was about to start downtrending. So from there, I had a trend line that was broken, that was drawn from here to here. Hold on 1 second. Try to make it more accurate. Yeah, from there to there. So I dropped down to a lower time frame to see, was that my daily? I think I had a daily structure here, another one. 1 second. I deleted my chart so I could redo it for y'all. Daily is red. Line chart. Yeah, it was right here. I think that was it, if I'm not mistaken. Nah, that was not it. Yeah, this was it right here, my fault. I see it on my phone right now. So that was my daily structure. And from there, all I saw was it just kept coming off of it, bounce. It got in a little channel because it was between all my structure points. Try a false breakout above it. A bearish engulfing on an hour chart to close back below it. That bearish engulfing. Back to the 15-minute. Where my trend line go? So, but on a 15-minute, it respected it. Off my trend line, it was just bouncing. Bounce. Up the trend line, bounce. And then it came in between my trend line and my 4 hour structure, my daily structure. And from there, I started actually looking at it. And then I saw a tap right there, false breakout. And then I saw this. So once I saw this, that's a triple top. Basically, that confirmed that it was actually respecting my daily trend line. From this break above, close below it, come back up, retrace back up to the daily time, the daily structure point. And from there, I just dropped down to the 5 minute and tried to see actually what was going on. So from there, all I did was do a trend line. No, not trend line. I drew another fib to actually confirm something, which was swing high from this high to this low. I think we had a 382. Yeah, it was respecting the 382. 5 minutes left. All right, so after this call, it's only 5 minutes left. I don't know if y'all want to, but I'm gonna need everybody to jump back on here and we could go over other charts. But I'm gonna just try to finish up with AU. So after this, we could jump back on here and go over different charts. I feel like stuff just be disappearing. So on the 5-minute, we had a bounce off, three bounces off my, that's not even my, it was right here. Yeah, there you go. 3 touches off my daily trend. No, the daily structure point bounced off of it. A 382 retracement that was respected. And then on the 5-minute, we had a break, which was the break was right. The break in my trend line, my uptrend trend line. That was the break. On my trend line. So once I saw the break on my trend line, that was the initial, that basically just told me that the market was about to start going down. And then if we was looking for extra confirmation, I think we had EMA crossovers at this point. Yeah, you had the EMA crossovers on the hour time frame. The EMAs crossed over to the downside. And then from there, this market just been dropping. And then I was looking at how could I re-enter this market, which was, I was looking at like these little key points where the market actually stumbled, which was, one was right here. So this was another stumble. I'm gonna put that as blue. This is where the market stumbled at. Right here. Right here. And no, these was like the points where I said, okay, I'm gonna look for a retracement for an entry, for another entry. From there, I went to my line chart and I actually started trying to mark up like down here, where would the market respect or where would it bounce off of? So as of right here, you had this whole little zone that was considered as a support and resistance. You had another one, which was right here. I think that was a daily one. Let me see. No, that was a 4-hour one. Yeah, 4-hour. So mark this blue. For the 4-hour, I had those two zones. So from there, I just went back to the hour chart and I just started to see it bounce. Came back up. This was another entry off this respect. Bounce. I started to look at this. Hold on, I think the call about to end in 60 seconds. Yo, y'all be on it with the time, bro. I don't even be looking at it. All right, so look, I'm going to end this call, and then we can hop right back on with the same exact link.